Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing, and welcome to Nonie's Craft Room. I forgot to mention in updates that we hit an estate sale right by our house and found something amazing. So since we're going to show that to you anyway, we thought, we'll do a tour. And she got it all cleaned up for you, so be sure to leave great comments about how good it looks. And for those of you who aren't butterflies in the clutterbug world, you've asked questions about storage and how Nonie stores things. She stores them very different than I do, so we'll show you some of that. We are in the doorway of her room right now, and if you're familiar with my room, her room, the floor plan is very similar, but I don't have a big fireplace right there or a window, so my counter goes across there, and then I have a counter right here in my room, and then she has a sliding glass door to the backyard just like I do. Over here is where she stores tons and tons of stamps, so we'll go through there. She uses a lot of space on the wall, but she organizes things all cute by color. You'll see that. That's her desk where she works. That's my chair to visit. Her cutting machines are over there. She has her carts to roll around. And then there's a bunch of storage over here we'll show you. But that way you get an idea of how the room goes. On this wall, she stores stamps and dies up here in these containers, embossing folders down here. You can see lots of paper, more stamps, big cutters. Over here is 12 by 12 that, I don't know, mostly she keeps that for me, I think. Miscellaneous stuff, more stamps and dies. These are Stampin' Up! Sets. Up here is Christmas, and then inks. And I'll show you up close how she organizes these. So she puts her stamps in packets, and if they have matching dies, she puts the dies with them. And she's really pretty good about remembering what goes where, and I can come over and ask to borrow things, and it's much better than if I have them at my house, because then we can't find them. And you can see in here, she's got her big ones in these big packets. Depending on who you order from and what brands you're using, not everything fits everywhere, right? Now, if this was my house, they'd just all be jumbled in a drawer and they probably wouldn't be in their packages anymore. But I don't have this many to choose from, so that's probably a good thing. In this section, this is storage, and she just recently moved these around, so maybe not the most logical. Tons of adhesive and baby wipes up top, and more adhesive. This was across the room, but to fit the cabinet that I haven't showed you yet, she had to move everything around last week. So tons of embellishments in here. This gray one, she does keep handy by her desk. She's got embossing powders and embossing supplies, more embossing powders, embellishments. Oh, look at this drawer. Goodness, look at those. Little graduation hats and stars. So much good stuff in there. And this drawer, everybody needs bling. And she has a set of drawers under there because she's petite and she can do that. And she has cutters and all kinds of stuff in there. And then here's a funny thing. She has this great section of organization up here. That stuff's been there for a long time. And it might be an area that soon she'll change things around because she doesn't use those a lot. Those aren't necessarily her most used, and you want to load your desk with the stuff you can reach being your favorite items. And then look, there's that cute cabinet that we picked up at that sale. This is where she has her glimmer stuff and her cart for coloring. That was really handy to have the cart when she was recovering after her knees. So if you have surgery or anything like that, think about loading a cart and rolling it around for yourself or have somebody else roll it. The Cameo and the Scan and Cut are over there. And then that black cabinet, it's a multi-purpose room, right? That happens to everybody. That's not her stuff. This is her frame of dies. She started out with this long time before I did my wall. She just has so many dies and she's more organized. She keeps a lot of them with her stamp sets, but this is a handy way to do it if you're not going to have a million or you're a butterfly and you need to see things. She can remember that she has them even if she can't see them. This cabinet has some stuff on top, typically Christmas. I put stuff up there and get it down sometimes. And then it's big. It holds a lot of stuff. The bottom is mostly overstock, or like her manual die cutter and other things she doesn't use as much. So then in the top, there's Christmas, there's pet, there's birds and bees, Asian stuff, lots of paper overstock. You can see you gotta have the storage, laminator, label maker. If you're not a butterfly, you probably have a label maker. That's how you know right away. I don't even own a label maker, and Nonie's always worried and wants to label things for me. One thing that Nonie wanted me to share with you is this. She got it at a yard sale for $125. Look at the scale of that piece of furniture and how much it stores for $125. This she got at a yard sale, and we're going to talk about that thing in a minute. It's amazing, and she paid $90, I think. That rack that those are on, yard sale, yard sale, yard sale, yard sale. Maybe that one too, I'm not sure. A lot of yard sale stuff in here, so keep that in mind. When you see, even if it looks like it's IKEA furniture, doesn't mean someone paid retail. Up here she has ink storage, and this just changed last weekend when she brought everything in. We went to an estate sale in our neighborhood on Saturday. The house was very smoky. We looked around. I bought one thing of black shoe polish. Nonie didn't buy a thing, which is, I mean, if you've been watching my channel, that's just not natural. And then she wanted to go back the next day to look at a set of knives. So she headed for the kitchen, and I went in the den, and I stood at it and looked at this case. And it locked. It had a little lock right there. And I read the paper on it, and I didn't understand it. And then I opened the cupboards, and I nearly squealed. There were a bunch of people in the room, and I almost yelled. So instead, I shut the cupboards, and I texted Nonie to come back to the den. And then I showed her and said, okay, do what you do. And she went and found the lady and bargained with her. Look at this. This is a crafter's dream. Every one of these comes out. They're not 12 by 12, but they're big enough to hold a hanging file folder. Plenty big for 8.5 by 11. She wanted to use hers for dies. If this had gone to my room, I probably would have had some of these be project trays, some of them be storage. It may have turned into an entire cabinet of UFOs, which is another reason maybe it shouldn't have gone into my room. And you can see that what she's done is she's put dies in here. You can also see why the wall wasn't enough for her anymore. Are you looking at this? We're not going to look at every single tray, but you get the idea. So this cabinet is called a collector's cabinet. I looked online. I haven't found anything else quite like it, but it's just an idea to keep in mind because this is amazing. Look at how much storage there is. And even if you didn't get one with all the trays, or maybe you could have someone in your life build you one, I don't know. I think the doors are good to keep dust down, but it doesn't have to have this many trays. Can you imagine if I started a project for every one of those trays? This would turn into a giant cabinet of UFOs, also known as unfinished objects, and then I would just shut the doors and forget about them. I don't know if I need one of these, but if I encounter one, it might come home with me. And look, it's not very deep. It really doesn't take up a lot of room. Keep your eyes peeled at yard sales, estate sales, junk stores. You don't have to spend a lot on amazing storage. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. Bye-bye.